Hey there, folks. Welcome to Head, Heart, and Hustle, the podcast for creatives. I'm your host, Alan Plummer, and as always, thank you for listening. Now, one of the few things I love more than writing, besides Star Wars, of course, is talking. As anyone who knows me will tell you, I hold a black belt, nth degree, certified, licensed, PhD in running my mouth. You know that. You're listening to me now, so you already know that. And yes, I'm absolutely an extrovert. And while extroverts can be creative, there's also been research that's shown that many of you guys, many creative people, are introverts at heart. Now, as an extrovert, it's pretty easy for me to go out and meet new people, make small talk, and find some kind of common ground on which to build a working or personal connection. I know that can be much harder for a lot of you guys and my fellow creatives and artists who may be introverts. And after all, when you're perfectly happy with your own thoughts in solitude, which let's admit, all of that is essential to the creative process, there can admittedly be an internal resistance to meeting new people and trying to force a connection with others. Believe it or not, I struggled too. I get it. I may be a full-on chatterbox when I'm in the office, but once I get home, I can easily skew more towards a period of isolation and silence, especially when I'm writing and doing other elements of the podcast besides recording these voiceovers. Early in my career, I spent a decade as a self-employed journalist. During that time, I worked out of my apartment in Queens, then in Richmond, Virginia, back in my hometown. And those years were often filled with professional isolation. Working at my desk for days at a time where the only connection I had to the outside world was through emails or the occasional phone interview. And as I transitioned out of writing for a living and went back into the corporate world, I realized that I had a massive list of professional contacts, yet few of them were people I could call for advice or professional recommendations. Despite years of interviews, editorial feedback, and discussions about copy, I had failed to make real connections with most of the people I knew professionally. In short, I had no network to help me pivot into the next stage of my career. It was sobering to discover, and I've learned from my mistakes. Today, I make a point on building strong relationships with those around me, whether it's up, down, or sideways on the corporate ladder, as well as building strong relationships with people at other companies and startups whom I like and respect. In fact, a number of the people that I've interviewed for this podcast are individuals that I didn't even know before I talked to them, yet have become colleagues and friends of mine in my creative circles, and I love it. Now, networking may feel like a dirty word to many of you, and it does feel like a dirty word to many creatives and artists, but it shouldn't, even if you're an introvert. Over the past few years, building a strong network has helped me in a number of ways. It helped me land my first speaking engagements at conferences. It helped me get interviews for this podcast that quite honestly, I never would have landed otherwise. It's helped me find and bring highly qualified people to my day job, folks that have skills similar to mine and whom I now get to work with daily and whom I respect. It's helped me develop a reputation as a coach and a leader within my organization. It's helped me find mentors as my own career evolves. It's helped me get valuable input from others when I face challenges. It's helped me create win-win solutions to problems in the workplace, which admittedly is much easier to accomplish if you know and connect with other people in those situations. It's helped me find allies who advocate for me when I'm applying for a new job. It's helped me build personal, informal connections with colleagues at competitive companies. It's helped me leverage ideas and best practices from my counterparts in other industries that I can take to work. And most importantly, it's helped me develop friendships who serve as a sounding board for me whenever I'm facing challenges and simply when I need to vent. Now, if you think about that list, you might not necessarily want or need everything I just went through, but I'm certainly willing to bet that you need a couple of those or could benefit from a couple of those examples in your own life and your own career. Believe it or not, many people in my network are closer to friendships than working colleagues. As I've evolved throughout my career, the lines between work and personal life continue to blur, right? That happens as you move up in an organization. Members of my professional network are friends that I can have dinner with at a conference. They're friends that I can ask to review an article for a website. I can get candid input from them regarding vendors that we may pick at work or situations that I'm dealing with. And I can share work-related frustrations with them in ways that I can't with my wife or other members of my family. They have similar jobs to me, and they do creative work like I do, so they get it. It's important. And all of this means I absolutely believe that networks are helpful for creative individuals. And as professional creatives, building a network of other talented individuals gives you the support network you need and that, quite honestly, we all too often lack in our lives. So yes, I'm going to say to all of you that I think you need to get started on expanding and building relationships. And I understand that taking that first step can feel daunting. Putting yourself out there when you'd rather just sit at your desk and listen to Spotify while working on your next creative project can feel a bit like trying to find a prom date. It's intimidating. I get it, really, I do. But here's the thing. As artists and creative individuals, you already speak a common language with other people who are also creating things. And that language is creativity. It doesn't matter if someone else works in some different medium or expresses themselves differently. It doesn't matter if you're a painter and someone else is a writer, or if you're an actor and someone else is a musician. In fact, that may actually be better because they can bring something to conversations and give you a unique perspective to things, but yet still connect with issues that you have and challenges and struggles you might be facing and be able to empathize with them. You ever notice how easy it is to open up and talk about your creative work, your side hustles, and your passion projects? When you do that, it takes the focus off you as a person, and it puts it on your talent and expression. So start there when you meet with other creative people. When you reach out to other artists, use that shared desire to create as the initial common ground when you start those conversations. Ask other people about their creative process. Ask them about how they first realized they wanted to do this creative thing for a living. Ask about what they like to create outside their day job. Once you get started, you're off and running, and it's easier than you think, I promise. In fact, if you're still not sure kind of how to do this, go back and listen to any of the episodes I've done of this podcast where I interview someone. I mean, in every episode where I conduct an interview, I'm attempting to connect with another creative individual, and oftentimes I've never met them or spoken to them before. Go back and listen to it from my side. Think through how I try to get these people talking about themselves. And again, it's pretty easy. I mean, honestly, if I can do it, you can do it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're looking to move up in your career or if you're perfectly happy with what you're doing now. Having a network of other talented creatives is going to make your life richer, more interesting, and may just help you grow your talents. I'm Alan Plummer. Thanks for listening. Now, go create something. Oh yeah, and go build your network too.